blends mystery, dark comedy, and action. So, what attracted you to the character? And without giving any spoilers, what can you say about it?
What I can say about it is I read this script about 4 years back when Parvez Sheikh and Jasmeet Sreen wrote it, and I got the rights to it, and I decided I wanted to act in it. And then when I didn't find a suitable producer, we decided to produce it as well under my production company called Salim Siblings. I love the fact that it's neo-noir, it's pulpy, it's cool, it's got a female hit woman. She's she's deaf and mute, and she's she has a gun that she hides in a red umbrella. So it's quite fun.
And dark comedies are still relatively uncommon in Hindi mainstream. So what can you say about this film? Why it stands out?
Well, it's quirky. I wouldn't say it's a comedy. It's a thriller. It's a comedy. It's also a musical because it's got 11 like original compositions. It's a very very unique style. I think Nachiket, the director, has brought about a sensibility which is very his own. My character is called Baby Karmarkar. That's a full name. Karmarkar is a Marathi surname which translates as "do die do" in English, which is kind of like a Pune dad joke. But yeah, I think it's funny in that sense, and I think the audiences are going to really enjoy this kind of a quirk meets thrill meets action kind of a situation.
And how physically challenging was it for you to portray such a character who is deaf and mute? And did you go and meet the people who are deaf and mute, or how did the preparation basically?
Yes, I had a person who was my coach who helped me learn sign language, but the sign language had to be more universal for everyone. I also went to a school with for kids with special needs and who were not able to speak or hear, and there's a whole spectrum of that, and I had to study that and spend time with those kids, and I learned a lot and I grew a lot just interacting with them. Of course, learned a lot of stillness, because even if like I was not able to speak, I think that was the easier part, but not being able to hear and not react was far harder. So a lot of physical challenges, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And earlier in your career, you were often described as someone who broke the mold of conventional Bollywood heroine. Mm-hmm. So, do you think so that the industry has generally broadened the definition of portrayal of a leading woman over the years?
I really don't care. That's not something for me to like think about. I think for me, it's important to do what I do and to live my life authentically. And if it breaks the mold, so be it. But that's not really for me to interpret or think about. It's for them to worry about.
And do you think so filmmakers are writing better parts for women?
Yes, there is definitely a change. I think there could be a lot more change, but there's definitely a step in the right direction.
And whether I talk about Maharani or Monica, Oh My Darling, you have always come up with the roles which were, I would say, pretty distinct from, other roles.
Right.
So what I, like in this film, so with this film, what actually attracted you to it? And like, why did you think that this is probably another role which would be different?
Oh, that's a great question, because I feel like when you think of people, especially women with a disability, you almost think of it as a weakness, or you think of them as a victim. But however, over here, you had like a hit woman, who's pretty like lethal, and she's a weapon of mass destruction, yet she has a disability. But that is not a weakness. Actually, that's the strongest asset.
And if I talk about your character, you are playing a cold-blooded assassin in it. And Priyanka Chopra has been in Saat Khoon Maaf, and Taapsee Pannu has been there in Naam Shaban. And there have been many actresses who portrayed, I would say, similar, not similar, but characters in that sphere. So who's your favorite out of them?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, I feel like the reason why we call our film like the first Desi hit woman is because there's not really been a hit woman. People have been spies, people have been psycho killers, people have been, many things, espionage, but not really a hit woman. A woman who actually takes like a supari to actually knock people off has not been done before.
And we have seen female assassins are often portrayed as hyper-sexualized femme fatales, but it's not so in this film. So, if you could say.
Great observation, absolutely. I think it's a very misogynist way of looking at it, that women have to be in these sort of tight-fitting clothes, a hyper-sexualized sort of imagery to be able to be assassins, and I think that it's coming from patriarchy. Having said that, we just wanted to make a very relatable character, like Baby's character, just somebody you could meet on a Mumbai local and not bat an eyelid. And the fact that she's so normal and regular looking, yet could be such a lethal killer, is what makes her such an interesting tale and such an interesting film.
And your character's signature weapon is a red umbrella, which has a hidden gun in it.
Right.
So what was the thought behind it?
Well, the thought behind it was that she has a gun, and but the gun is hidden in her red umbrella because, I mean, you see a girl with an umbrella, you wouldn't bat an eyelid, but nobody would be walking around with a gun on the road.